Are you dreaming of the lifestyle that comes with successful trading? Well, it's time to make it a reality. Welcome to the Trading Ascension podcast, where you can discover methods to improve your trading results by focusing on your trading psychology. I'm Jason E., your guide on this path to trading improvement, self-discovery, and self-mastery. Together, we'll explore the personal and spiritual growth journey of profitable day trading. Prepare to unlock the secrets of the trader's mind and align your inner self with your personal success. Listen to this episode if you want to ascend to new levels of trading excellence and personal development. This is Trading Ascension, supporting your journey to mastering trading psychology and personal growth for consistent profits. Let's elevate your trading and your consciousness starting now. Hello, traders. In this episode, we're diving into a topic it's close to home for all of us. This topic is overwhelmment, and the solution that works for me, which I'm calling trading alignment. Now, this is going to be a powerful reset tool. This is a draw a line in the sand episode. I want you to, while you're listening to this, I want you to make a choice. I want you to decide this week will thrust you forward. Decide that you can. Decide that you will. If you're listening to this show, I believe in you. So after we exasperate the issue a little bit, just to highlight its presence so you know what you're dealing with, we'll talk about a simple solution that we all can test next week during our trading cycle and improve at our craft. Let me paint you a picture for the first half of last week for me personally. I can say before I start, I'm thankful that I woke up midweek, right? When I can look back at old track records. Sometimes you go on those mental slumps, or you're just a little bit off for a long time. Right about Wednesday, I was like, what the hell? But I'll tell you about that. So this episode, I hope wakes you up. And I hope that you feel rock solid confidence as you move forward. Last week, I found myself drowning in a sea of complexity. Multiple accounts, different prop firms, various phases, sometimes having to switch data providers to access accounts, you name it. And that was just on the trading side. Life outside of the charts, that's ramping up too. Does this sound familiar to any of you? Have you ever felt overwhelmed on the trading journey? I bet you have. Or you will at some point. Because here's the thing. We all have our ups and downs, our wins, our hurdles. It's part of the trading journey. And honestly, it's just part of life. But here is where it gets interesting. It wasn't until about Wednesday that I had this moment of clarity. I realized, dude, you've got to correct the ship, right? And the crazy part was, I just had a conversation with a friend and a trading buddy where I mentioned how overcomplicated my trading business had become. Now, if you've ever felt overwhelmed, drowning in data, frustrated, maybe with stagnant account growth, or just plain exhausted from the roller coaster that trading is, this episode is for you. I have a technique that when I have the mindfulness to implement, it always helps me get back on track. We're going to talk about the mental battle that we all face. And honestly, this is a tool where you don't have to stop doing it, right? Sometimes you have to focus on other things, but if you can do what we're going to talk about today, always you are going to excel very swiftly as a day trader. Where you feel like, you're the only one in the world struggling. And spoiler alert, you never are, right? But we'll dive into the symptoms of trading overwhelm. In practice, right, and how it manifests, it looks like sometimes greed for some of us makes us over leverage our positions, or that dangerous overconfidence, right? I was dealing with that, and it whispers things like, you could trade blindfolded and make money. I'm like, what the Jason, what are you talking about? Right? I actually said that to myself this week, right? I was just off. Then my sound mind was like, what the heck did you just say? Right? Because of course that's not true, right? It took a lot of hard work to get where I am. I'm not where I want to be. Right? Where did that thought come from? So if you seem to be slipping mentally, not trading in a flow state, we're going to discuss how to turn the ship around, how to get back to consistency, focus, and patience, the ingredients for better results. So this show might be a saving grace for someone out there. It's like if you're floating in the ocean and a boat's coming along and they toss out a life preserver, right? That's this episode. Once you learn this reset technique, you'll always have a boat to call when you feel lost at sea. Now, I'm not talking about being lost at sea in a boat, right? I'm talking about floating at sea, right? Just you out there, like real scary, right? So, I am likely not going to make it out of this situation scary, right? That mental and emotional situation. So if you ever asked yourself, how can I get things back on track, right? Once you have that awareness that things are at your wits end, then stick around. Maybe you don't know how you feel and you just want to improve at day trading, right? That's all good too. This episode will have something for you. This episode is all about finding that simple, actionable solution to regain and or claim your trading mojo. And I'll keep it a buck 100 with y'all. When I'm overwhelmed, the last thing I want is some long ass Jason E graduate assignment to take on, right? So we'll talk about a self challenge that we can all do next week that is simple, right? And it gets things flowing again. So yes, the process is a little bit of setup, right? But still simple, and it will give us a lot of action and a lot of things to focus on next week. It will keep us away from that. They say the idle mind's a devil's workshop. But when you always have something to do, always have a focus, always have a goal that you can reach forward, it's hard to get lost. So you'll start to trend towards feeling better and getting better results. So like we hate to drive through, let's get it in. So you're overwhelmed. First, kudos to your awareness, because when you're riding the wave, there is no awareness, right? So the awareness of being overwhelmed is a step up, right? You're moving up the scale towards improvement, towards better things, right? Versus being in the emotion. And we all know that feeling like when you calm down, maybe you're super angry. And this is just a life example. Maybe you're super angry, then you come down and you're like, ooh, well, I was angry. Ooh, what'd I say? What'd I do? Wow. Right? Or you're super sad. And then when you get out of it, oh man, I was really down. Right? Whatever emotion, right? That time of coming out of it and that awareness when it comes back, it's a great thing. And it's something that you can build off of. Again, when things aren't going your way, our self-talk can try to deflate us in even more, right? That law of attraction works either direction, going more positive or more negative. So we have that battle in front of us. And it's no easy battle, my friends. Those negative thoughts arise and they say things that are just deflating. But what you have to do is you have to fight back. You have to say things like, I'm on track. I am on the fastest path to my goals. I am on track. I am on the fastest path to my goals. And how can you be sure you're on the fastest track to your goals, right? How can you say that statement and believe it? Well, repetition, right, is always a way to try to force our way into the subconscious mind. But here's a checklist, right? So the first question is, do you have a goal? Do you have a goal? Well, great. We need that a little bit later. Matter of fact, we'll circle back to that. But if you do have a goal, then there's a good chance that you are on the fast track towards that goal, because most people don't have goals. So whenever you're berating yourself mentally, and if you don't have a goal, then you can like, oh man, maybe I'm not on track. But if you have a goal, you're on the fastest path. Now, next question, maybe you don't have a goal, right? Next question to determine if you're on the fastest path to your goal. Are you getting some results? Are you seeing improvement? If yes, great. You're on the fastest track and you should be proud. So when those mental voices fight you and they tell you things that are negative about yourself as you're working out your mind, then you can say, I'm on track. I'm on the fastest path. Now, if you said no there, right, here's the next question to determine if you're on the fast track towards your goals. Are you not seeing results? This shit kind of suck currently. Maybe you're frustrated, and that's the prevailing emotion. If yes, well, you are no doubt on the fast track to your goal. And this is true because you are facing a hurdle, and those hurdles are to eliminate those who are on the wrong path. They're not for you to overcome, but not to stop you. And this is generally how goal acquisition works, and not, chump goals that are life changing, like what you're doing. When you choose a goal, we often think about the glory of accomplishment, but there's the other side, right? When we decide to look at the other side, we're using a concept called inversion thinking. This is a perspective that looks at the pain and the challenges of the path ahead and what we might likely face. By determining if you're willing to take on the pain of a particular path, you can make better life decisions. So when you choose a goal, we can also by default accept the pain that comes with that specific journey. That pain and the hurdles of a path, they're the filters of the path. It's like the TSA. The TSA, they're the people at the American airports that vet your ID and pat you down and all that before you enter the flight area. I think that's like in UK, it's called the Border Force, right? In Canada, I remember it's an acronym. I don't remember what it stood for, but it's like CATSA, right? CATSA in Canada. And they man the checkpoints, right? When you're flying to different locations. So every goal has the same thing. It has a number of these checkpoints towards winning. These checkpoints, they're heart checks. They're dedication checks. They're strengthening tools. So if you have a goal and you're at a checkpoint, it's meant for us to bypass. Those aren't meant to turn you around, to deter you. So let's stick with that metaphor of inversion thinking just for a moment here. When you choose the path of trading, a few things you also accept on the inversion side, right? One is losing. Every trader loses trades. Great traders are good losers. Number two is not only losing, but monetary loss. It comes with the territory in the financial markets. Three, another one I can think of is growth. You're accepting that change and growth are going to be part of your path, right? And growth can be painful. That's why we're putting it on the aversion side, but it's on the other side as well, right? The person who starts trading is not the same person who is consistent in their trading. You have to change. And this is more, respectively on how you have to change, because we all have our different baggage to release, right? In order to accept more. So this journey of trading, navigating these filters on the path and getting through each security gate requires specific skills, but also a specific way of being. Getting to your trading goals, navigating that path requires specific skills, and most importantly, a specific way of being, of showing up. When you set up a success generator system, the skills you need to eliminate and I won't say the skills you need to gain, but the baggage you need to eliminate are going to be exposed at these security gates. And so there's a lot that working a success system, right, can help you with, but it still is going to be a daunting path. The great thing is that we can have forward movement while not focusing on the details of our success generator system and the details of the trading plan and system. We can't abandon the strategy though, right? We have to always hold on to that. But for a short period of time, you can still move forward if you pull back from some of the things. And I've had to do this during my career. Sometimes it's daunting every day as you're trying to change yourself, right? Sometimes tasks are just too much for that day, right? You guys ever felt like this? It's like, when you're consistently working out, there might be one day where you're pushing yourself, you got this winner attitude. And then one day you're like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to skip this one exercise today, right? Maybe my shoulder's sore. Maybe I took too long, whatever the reason is, right? Consistency is not it's about doing things every day and understanding that Hey, there's going to be a tomorrow, right? Had to skip abs today. I'm cramping in my stomach, right? Just didn't drink enough water to get through this exercise. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. No worries, right? So you have to have that same attitude in trading. But the point is you always have to be moving forward. Maybe I'm like, I'm not going to do that ab exercise there. I'm going to do something else, right? I'm going to replace it. I'm going to make sure I'm still moving forward. So there are certain parts of the success generator system that we can temporarily just put down because we're overwhelmed, but we can still move forward, right? So what are your options? How can you ease overwhelmment yet stay consistent in improvement? What's a narrow path? And it's done by focusing on flow. So this is going to be a challenge for us this coming week. If we focus on flow by the end of the week, you're going to be in a much better mental space than you were at the start of this week. So let's talk flow. Flow is an approach that allows the maximum amount of spiritual energy to bypass through us, to flow through us as we are a conduit, invigorating us, aligning us with a deeper truth within ourselves. If you start with ensuring the energy is unblocked, you're going to see changes. So the main focus of this upcoming week, your major job is to keep the energy flowing and the path clear. Energy, you don't have to force the energy, right? You don't control that. You're just a conduit, right? So you clear the path so the energy can go through. Clear the train tracks, watch the train. This places our focus on mind, body, and soul alignment. Our soul holds the bigger purpose. Our mind holds the next step towards that greater, bigger purpose. And our body performs the action required. This is a mind, body, soul alignment, and it's going to feel great in action. Before we set this up, let me explain something. It's helpful to understand what we are rewarded for as a trader, right? When we have these simplicity weeks, we have to understand that we're reaching a simple goal. And the truth is, that we can micro focus on this truth and play the game a little bit differently this week and still get results. So you often hear me on this show talk about and quoting the book, Acting in Our Own Best Interest. I'm not sure if you have noticed this, but the more integrity you have as a trader, the better things turn out. Have you noticed that? And when I say integrity, I meant a measurement of proximity of your say and your do. If you say something, how close are your actions to doing that? That's what I mean by integrity. The closer your say is to your do, your words and your actions, the better trading results you get. It's weird. A lot of times people think when they're aligning with external factors, market factors, or other people, that they're getting the best results, but it's not true. It doesn't work like that. And the simple fact is that, all traders have different trading styles. There are a lot of successful traders that do not trade the same. Some of them trade opposite identities or ideologies, but they're still getting results. So it's alignment with yourself. We traders are punished for our self trespasses, and we are rewarded for our mind, body, soul alignment. So at the soul level, we hold the end results, the belief that we are the goal today, and that goal is, a proficient trader. And this can be something that you do with a simple I am statement, right? So we're talking about practice next week. Step 1, I am, and then you fill in the blank. So it could be something like, I am a profitable trader. I am a millionaire trader. I am a trader that always makes the best decisions. You decide for yourself, right? Make sure this statement helps hold the energy of the person that is taking meaningful and proper actions. And it's important to do this because the opposite voices, as you're growing as a trader, they're going to be there. And even later on, there are certain things that can bring out baggage, right? Some of it clears, some of it never goes away. But if you're implanting positive thoughts, you're taking on both of those. So we say that statement. Now on the mind level, we have to focus on the best decision at that moment, no matter what happened previously. So for example, if my soul statement was, I am a trader who makes incredible decisions, I would then say, what are my best options now? Then I take that action. A lot of this is going to fall upon your strategy and rules for the day. So to make things simple, right? And this is something that is just a simple focus, but necessary for all traders, in my opinion. You need a daily goal to follow. Goals, I should say, to follow. What profit amount will you stop at, right? Put your trading in a box. And with these parameters, you can measure your success and you can grow off of the success of your integrity. So what profit amount will you stop at? What P&L negative level will you stop at? If you say, I'm only going to lose $750 today and I'm going to stop, and you get to $749, right? Even $755 if you don't cut it in time, and you stop, that's a win. That's integrity. You're going to be rewarded for that. Days that I have small losses and I follow my plan, I usually follow those days up with a win. When I over lose, generally that energy carries over to the next day. The market takes more. So have these parameters. Positive side, negative side, when will you stop? What criteria must, I said must, be met for you to enter a trade? No exceptions this week. Hold on to the idea that you are rewarded for your proper action, and there is always a best option ahead of you. I am a trader that makes great decisions. What is the decision I need to make at this moment? Bring your focus down to taking action with the belief that you're capable of taking that action. Nothing else matters. No matter what happened before, be consistently focused on making the best decision at any given moment, and you'll elevate yourself in a game that rewards integrity and great decision making. When you have this overarching statement, and it's a statement of positiveness, and make sure it's something that's self-identifying, right? It's not I make or I will, it's I am. Choose your I am statement. Focus on the rules that can be implemented. If you're facing overwhelm like I did, maybe focus on one account this week, right? And do it. I had that conversation with my friend, and I'm like, man, I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to focus on one account, but it wasn't enough, right? I had to bring my focus down within myself to a level of control. So once you get this level of control, you're aligned in your soul with an overall purpose, your mind, right, with focus on the action that you need to take. And then your body, by taking that action, you're going to get a alignment of flowing energy going through you, because there are no twists, there are no turns, there are no blocks. You're opening it up and you're aligned on every level. Do that this week. Let's jump back on next week and let's see how well it worked for us. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you next week, friend. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Trading Ascension Podcast. I hope you found valuable insights to help you on your day trading journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support by subscribing and leaving reviews helps me reach more traders like you and continue to provide this valuable content. Don't forget to head over to the tradingascension.com website for free resources, more tips, and exclusive content. If you can't wait till the next show, check out some of the previous episodes. They're great. But do join me on the next episode. And until then, keep ascending, stay mindful, and remember, Your journey to mastering trading psychology for consistent profits starts with your willingness to embrace personal growth.